Hello, welcome back to another video. In this video we will discuss about event. We already discussed about the delegate in our previous videos. Now in this video specifically we will talk about the event. So first we will try to understand that what is event theoretically, then after that we will go to our practical scenario and we will explain that how to write the code. Okay, so first let's try to understand that what is event. Events actually enable a class or object to notify other classes or objects when something of interest occurs. So maybe this particular sentence is very much confusing for you for a beginner. So we'll break down this particular definition and we'll see the thing one by one. So in this particular case, what does it actually mean, something of interest occurs? So if I'll give one example, then it will be clear for you. For example, the class that sends the event is called the publisher, and the class that receive the event are called the subscriber. So let's see one example now. Here you can see that this is a publisher. So publisher means the class that send or raises the event is called the publisher. So if we'll talk about a magazine example, so there is a class called the magazine and the publisher publishes the magazine. Okay, so publisher publish a new issue. So whatever the new issue will be there in our society, so publisher publishes the new issue and raise an event when a new issue is actually published. Okay, and what is the subscriber now? The subscriber classes, the classes that receive or handle the events are called the subscriber. Okay, so the publisher determines when an event is raised and the subscriber determines what action is taken in response to that particular event. So in this case, in our analogy, we already told that the publisher is nothing but publishes magazine for new issues. Okay, and raise a new event when a new issue is actually published, and subscriber means reader subscribe to the magazine's event and respond when a new issue is actually published. Okay, so in this scenario, the magazine company publisher creates content and publishes a new issue every month. The magazine company does not know who exactly is going to read that particular magazine, but they know that people have subscribed to their magazine. So that is the part of the publisher. Okay, and in case of the subscriber, the readers or the subscriber sign up the subscription to receive the monthly magazine. So whenever a new issue is actually published, it gets delivered to their address. The reader don't need to know how the magazine is actually created. They just receive it and they read it. So this is some simple analogy for the event, okay, and the publisher and the subscriber. Now we'll go to our code and I'll explain that how we can implement this thing. Now to implement this particular publisher and subscriber in terms of event, we need basically two class. That is the publisher class and the second one is the subscriber class. And via this program, this will contain the main method. We'll create the object of magazine, we will create the object of the reader, that means subscriber, from this particular program class. So first we need to create the magazine class, that is the publisher. So publisher will create an event, right? So event requires a delegates. So that's the very first thing about the publisher. It needs a delegate to create an event. So for that we have to create a delegate first. So we know that how to create a delegate from a previous video. If you don't know, you can see that previous videos. Okay, now it actually takes the delegate keyword to specify that this is the delegate, and it will take the return type, and here the name of the delegate will be the new issue event handler, and this this particular delegate can take the variables that means the variables mean it can take the parameter as well, but in our case this is the blank, that means the delegate will not take any kind of parameter. That means it will take the reference of the void type of method, and that method also will not take the parameter as well. So that's the concept of delegate, right? You already know that. Now let's move to the second line, this particular line, that how we can define the event based on a delegate. So on that case, you can see it's a access specifier, and then we have to use the keyword event here to specify that this is the nothing but a event. Okay, so this is the keyword, and after that whatever you can see, that is the delegate you have to specify over here. Okay, and then you have to give the name of the event, that is the new issue release. So this is the event name. You can give any name of the event, right? But remember that this particular event will take one delegate, so the event will be created based on a delegate. So that's why you have to specify the delegate here. So this is the standard rule to create a event. Okay, now one of the major tasks of the magazine, that means the publisher class or the publisher to create a new issue by the magazine. So that's why you have to create a method which will publish some new issues by the magazine. So that's why you have created a method and publish new issue method, and by this method we can do something, or we can print something, that magazine publishing new issues, and after that once this issue will be published, okay, then we'll call on new issue released. Okay, so whenever we'll call this one is the another method. Okay, so it will be called. So here you can see this is the method. So why we are calling this one? So this particular method will check that if there is any subscriber or not. So you can see that we are checking here new issue released equals not equals so null. That means if there will be any event, so we are checking is there any event occurred for this publisher or not. If it is not equal to null, that means event occurred. So on that case we'll call the new issue released. Okay, that means we'll call the subscriber here. Okay, and it will call the event handler. That means by the delegates one, it will call the new issue released method. So it will check. So by this if condition, it will check if there is any kind of subscriber is there, then call the event itself. So it will call the event. It means it will call the delegate methods. So whatever the method will be passed over here, that will be called. That means eventually the subscriber method will be called over here, right? So whenever something will be published, then that time if there will be a subscriber, that subscribe will hit. Okay, so now we'll see the subscriber. Okay, the main task of the reader or the subscriber, it will receive the magazine whenever a new issue is actually published. It gets delivered to their address, or other reader don't need to know how the magazine is actually created. They just receive it and they read it. Okay, so now let me explain the reader over here. So here you can see that it's having one name, and here in this section you can see the reader is actually, this is the constructor itself, and it's initializing its value with the name. Okay, now in this section you can see that event handler method is there. So in each and every subscriber, they should have a method like this one if he wants to subscribe the publisher. Okay, so here there is a method called receive new issue is there. Receive new issue is there, and whatever the name will be there, we'll print that and we'll show the message that received the new issue. So this person received the new issue. Okay, so this is the part of the subscriber. Now we'll execute and I'll show you how we can do the process by creating the objects or instances. Now, so first of all, you have to create a new instance of the magazine, that is the publisher. then we have to create the instantiate the object of the reader class, that means the subscriber one. So each the constructor takes the name, as you can see here over here the constructor take the name. So that's why at the time of the creation of the object of the reader class we have to pass the object one. So first one we have created two objects, reader 1 and reader 2, and for the Alice and Bob. Now the major important thing that this reader need to be subscribed from the magazine, right? Also this one need to be subscribed to the magazine class itself. So now we have to specify the magazine new release. So new release, here you can see that it's new release nothing but it is event. So it can this particular reader actually subscribing to our event. So that's why new issue released plus equals to reader dot new receive new issue. So it's actually giving the reference of the receive new issue function itself or the method itself. In the similar fashion, we are subscribing the event new issue event by the method issue receive new issue by this particular reference of this method. So in new issue release event is actually getting the reference of the method of the subscriber, that is the reader class. Okay, that's why these two line actually subscribing the publisher events. Okay, so now after that we'll call the method publish new issue. So at the when the publisher will publish some new issue, then the subscriber should gain the magazine itself or new issue. So it will get the new issue, right? So that's why magazine will publish two time. First this one we are publishing new issue, also magazine dot publish new issue, that means publisher also publishing its second time. Okay, so the execution will happen in two times. Okay, so if we'll now execute this particular code, what will happen? So it will create the object for magazine 1, again it will create the two object. Now when this execution is the setup, nothing but the setup itself. Now this two line is actually do whole operation. Okay, so whenever it will call, it will go to the magazine and directly it will go to the publish new issue. So in this particular method it will directly come over here and it will print this particular message that magazine publishing new issue, and then it will call another function that on new issue released, this function will be called, and this method or this function will check that if there is new issue released or not, or if there is this event is there or not. Okay, so if it will be there, it will handle it. Okay, so it will go to this events handler and it will go to the delegates and it will fire that particular event. It will fire that particular method which is actually having the reference. So here the reference is nothing but this is the reference, right? We have passed in the new issue release for the first one, and again after executing it will go here and it will give that Alice received the new issue over here. So we'll get this particular message that Alice received new issue. Now in the similar fashion, when we are publishing a new issue, so that time one another subscriber was there, his name is Bob. So Bob's also having the reference already, so that's why it will also receive the new issues, right? So he will also get the new issue. Now for this second one, what will happen, again it will go to the this particular method, so it will print this one. Now it will go here and it will check is there any event occurred or not. So it will get its value, first reference of the first method it will get, and it will print the a message here for the Bob, for the allies, and in the second time also it will print for the Bobs, because it's having the reference for the both reader 1 and reader 2. So initially for this particular line it will print total 3 number of line. First one, it will show magazine publishing new issue, then it will Bob also allies will get the new issue, also Bob also receive the new issue. After that, for this particular publish new issue, this call will get also 3 different message. The first one, the publishing message, that publisher or magazine publish new issue, and after that whoever subscribe, they also get the they will also get the new issue received. So from here it will the subscriber will get its issue, new issue for the allies and Bob, okay, for both the person. Okay, now let me save over here, Control S, and let me build it. Okay, so as you can see, build completed successfully. Now I will click over here to see the output. Okay, so as you can see that for this particular line, it's the new publisher publishing the new issue, and then after that allies will receive the new issue, again the Bob will receive the new issue. Now for the second time, for the second call, it will show you the magazine publishing new issue, again the allies receive new issue and the Bob will receive the new issue. So that is the result. Okay, so if you have any confusion, you can ask it in the comment section. So this one is the simpler version. We can make this particular code more complex. For example, how we can do that? So you can see that this delegate is not getting any parameter, having no parameter, so we can make it as a parameterized. So at the time of the function calling or the reference calling, you need to pass the parameter on that time. So how we can do that? You can check that, or you can try that, or maybe in our later videos we will try to explain that as well. Okay, so thanks for watching this video. See you in the next one. Till then, take care. Bye bye.